the Richmond area, which and pay was amazing.
Oh, right, okay. So you kind of dipped a toe in most things sport-wise, by the sound.
Yeah, I would say definitely obsessed with sport and pretty good at most sports. One of those people who can take my hand to anything other than golf, which is my favourite sport. I'm most annoying at the moment, but I'm actually better than I'm making out, but I'm also not as good as I probably make out as well. You know, if any golfers out there, 18 handicap isn't too bad.
Yeah, yeah. It's an infuriating game, isn't it? And you know, as soon as you think you've got it, it can kick you.
Yeah, it definitely it's a leveler. So if you want to like upset somebody who's upset you, take them to a game of golf, and if they're a big head, they'll soon come down to earth.
It's funny, isn't it? You always see people that talk a good game about golf, and then you see a swing, and you're like,
yeah, sure. They obviously talk a good game. Just stay humble. That's all I'll say, is because your next shot could be all right, just along the floor, 15 feet.
Yeah.
But just carry on, enjoy, use it as exercise. That's what I do now.
So, what took you into the sports science qualification? You know?
Yeah, it was like, well, as a person, I was at like the fastest running. I was up to sort of 5K. I was always the best. So exercise was a massive part of my life. I was always at the gym. I just loved it, and I thought, well, what do I need to do in my life? I was like in a crossroads, and I thought, tell you what I'll do. I'll do sports science, and I wanted to go and coach football and work in the United States. So the mad thing was, I got my FA badge because I couldn't get into the United States without my FA badge. And lo and behold, while doing the FA badge, I was picked up by Burnley Football Club and ended up being a pro footy player for 2 years. But I left. I hated it.
Right.
Didn't fit with me. All the guys there were like either smoking, eating terrible diet. Going to the bookies afterwards, and you know the training pitch was got cows on it. I thought, this is not for me, and I couldn't get on with the guys within the team. So I actually left and went to work in the United States as a soccer coach in Minnesota, if you're from there, and came back and started my degree. That's how it all started.
So you're a pretty decent footballer.
I think so, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely could play in the lower leagues.
Right.
But just didn't float my boat. I wanted to do the exercise and health thing and become obsessed with it like I am now. And here I am sort of at the cusp of breakthrough stuff that I've been doing with University of Central Lancashire at recent times. And indeed, yesterday I got some more funding from the government to do some more studies on what I've created with a chap from the Channel Islands called Chris.
Yeah. And that's New Vision Therapy.
Yeah, New Vision Therapy is Chris's baby. And I've been lucky enough, or not really lucky enough, I believe in things happen for a reason. I've always got off my backside and done things and made things happen. Just felt compelled to go and meet him in Jersey, and since we've met, it's been a great education of how to sort of help people in a different way than conventional, let's say, physio, chiropractic, osteopathic work. And it's unbelievable how basic it is what we now do. It's like come round full circle. It was very simple to start with. Thousands of years ago, we created lots of chaos, different sort of therapies, medicine, talking therapies, and we've ended up where we are now, which is simple, fix the central nervous system. So we sit in between sort of talking therapies and medicine and all the other stuff, and sort of with the link between them both. And to be fair, you need less of the other two often if you sort of follow up a little simple protocol.
Yeah. Can you give any insight into a bit more detail in terms of what goes on in the...
Yeah, so in short, and we're finding it a lot more prevalent since COVID, is you can have them mechanically locked in survival mode, and it all starts with your top two vertebrae. And if they sort of get slightly distorted, they set on a pattern of misalignment within your body where you then get locked in survival mode and you can't get out. So conventional medicine will try and talk you out or your drug way out of it, but ultimately you are physically locked in. So it's basically most mental health things are not mental. There's a physical aspect to it which starts with the top of the spine, and where it gets distorted, and it sets off a chain reaction, and ultimately you become locked in to survival mode, and we found a way of measuring that to find out whether you are locked in survival mode too.
Okay. And so, when obviously we've been at networking events together for the last year or so, and you've spoken a lot about PTSD and helping with that, and ADHD, and I suppose it's all related to that being stuck in fight or flight.
Yeah, so ultimately what we were doing, we were like the last resort for a lot of people with sort of long-term pain, just traditional back pain and stuff like that. And by helping them with our new method, we found that the feedback was they were feeling relaxed. And Chris actually went over to Canada to camp with guys with PTSD to trial out what we do on guys with PTSD with the thought that they would improve if we just switched on their wellness sort of facility within their body, and lo and behold, the results were amazing. So we started then sort of, if you will, treating or working with guys with PTSD, ADHD, stress, anxiety, or depression, all them sort of things, and simply just switching the body from a negative state of nervousness, so we call it the dorsal vagus nerve shutdown response, up to the ventral vagus, be sort of proactive and happy and more socially engaged. And they've got remarkable results, and then recently got a bit of evidence to say what we do actually work, particularly for PTSD.
When you say bit of evidence, it's all related to like universities?
Yes, so University of Central Lancs and government gave us some funding, and we did 12 months of studying veterans in the Channel Islands and in the sort of Preston area, and culminating in the remarkable results that what we do certainly helps, and significantly, and that there's definitely a need for more study on this. And I suppose that's where we are now. It is literally on Monday, that's 2 or 3 days ago, got more or less the go ahead to get cracking on with some more research. We're just trying to sort out how we're going to do it.
So obviously, without naming names, can you give some example of some kind of success stories, things that have happened?
Yeah, I mean, there's a great guy who came who was struggling big time with work, relationships, paying his bills and stuff like that. And just by treating him, he's now, he said he rings me all the time saying, I can't believe how well I'm feeling. He's got his life, sort of he's paying his bills, he's set his own business up, and he's no longer, what happens is you sort of, it's a roller coaster. Well, some days you're feeling better, and the day after you're on the floor, and all you want to do is sort of, this is generalising, sit there and curl up in a ball, and there's no reason for it, and they can't work it out in the head. But what we've worked out is there's 5 nerves in your head which make you socially engaged, and if any of those are not working, you'll become socially unengaged, for want of a better phrase, and just shut down. Then you trigeminal nerves, facial nerves, and 3 nerves in the sort of for brainstem. There's brainstem as well, which is cranial nerve 9, 10, and 11. We just flick them on. Even just flicking one of them on flicks the rest on, and the magic happens. As if you've got a balloon of emotion which is filling up and bursting. It just, in the background, someone opens the balloon and the air's come out of it. You don't even know it's happening. And then it's as if the person goes from that to that. And finding the friends and family and noticing that you're so much more relaxed. They can't believe the shoulders are so wide. Stuff like that, because they're normally like that, you know.
I mean, obviously, I did the first training,
level
1 training course, and there's a guy that had an element of PTSD quite badly affecting him, And then the change in him during the day was unbelievable.
Yeah,
he started
Chris.
Smiling. And,
yeah, he's been coming. Well, he doesn't. The point of this is you don't have to have it. It can be one treatment.
Yeah.
70% of the time, one treatment. 90% of the time, two, and say 3 treatments. 10% of the time, and it just transformed his life. He was saying it was like it was bonfire night. So there's a lot of bangs going on. He's from the military, and he was dreading it because he just has to hide in his house like that because it just reminds him of being back in the battlefield. And he said it's like he knows it's there, he knows it's coming, and he can sort of rationalise and realise it's actually fireworks. And all his friends have noticed he's just completely gone from introverted to sort of extroverted, if you will, or more outgoing is probably a better phrase.
Yeah, it was an amazing day, actually.
And I treat veterans, by the way, for free.
Yeah. Okay. When you talked about the nervous system, how does that relate? How do you explain that in terms of how that controls the body in that way?
Well, you have so the general ways of thinking from years ago, probably in Greek time when the anatomy was created, that you had a simple nervous system, and to tell you how mad it is, they actually called it the good one, they called the negative nervous system, which is your fight and flight, the sympathetic nervous system. So I can't say that sympathetic because people who struggle with anxiety won't say that it's sympathetic. And so you either were fight and flight or rest and recuperate and recover. And they thought it was as basic as that. So, recent research from a guy called Stephen Porges, I think he's an American guy, probably in the 70s, maybe 80s, realised there's the polyvagus nerve theory was there's actually 2 more nerves that sits upon that area called your ventral vagus nerve, which runs your sort of upper body more or less, a little bit downstairs, and also your dorsal vagus nerve, which runs you downstairs. And if the downstairs dorsal's running your body, then basically we're all in trouble to certain levels. You see it by people just shutting down, even like you get forward head posture and people get sort of that sort of effect. You see them walking around. It's all to do with nervous system, probably in dorsal vagus nerve mode. And that is the basis of what we do. And it's not that sort of complicated. We just have complicated it by, I just believe a lot of dorsal vagus nerve stuff are symptoms and labels. You can say, look, definitely dorsal vagus nerve. So you've got like fibromyalgia, ME, ADHD, PTSD, this. And sort of, I mean, let's face it, the big pharma has thrown a lot of drugs at symptoms because it's big business. I might get a bullet for saying that, but who cares? But so it's quite simply we switched a person from dorsal vagus nerve function, which is running their body, to ventral vagus nerve function, and it's quite simple to work out whether they are in dorsal or ventral. It's so simple to test.
Okay. So when you went down to the Channel Islands to see Chris, is there a moment where you actually start to think, I get this. This really makes sense and it really works.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of personal development and I seem to run across good people and great opportunities. But I've always one of those person who like if it's not, for instance, when I couldn't get to the United States to coach football in a summer camp, I did an FA badge. I didn't go, I can't do it then. I went and got the FA badge. Then I ended up playing for Burnley. So I'm a very proactive person. Like I've driven an hour and a half to get here today in the worst traffic known to man. But I'm not stressed because I'm being run by my ventral vagus nerve. Okay? I'm dying to eat all them cakes. Joking, but I will do. And sort of I've always, without knowing until recently, run my life on energy and instincts, and just thought I need to go and see this guy. And we met in an amazing hotel in St Helier, and within seconds we hit it off because he really, really wants to help people. And so do I. So my remit as a human being is to help as many people with their health as I can, and at the same time gather as much knowledge so I can actually do that. And this is where I am now, and now I sort of know why certain things are happening, and I'm running with that, and opportunities are coming to me with that in unmeasurable amounts, like meeting you, for instance, and helping you know, other people that we know and stuff.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I came to see you. I was struggling with a few injuries, and
it's a funny story.
It is a funny story, and then
I'm definitely claiming this.
So came to see you. I was treated, and then essentially I was going to play cricket, as most people know that listen to this. And I think I only got out once in the next 4 weeks, and a couple of 50, like 3 or 4 50s and a big 100. And I was like, wow, I was trying to work out what the switch was, and there was a calmness about the way I played and decision making and clarity that wasn't there before.
Yeah, there comes a point when it's no longer coincidence, when it happens over and over and over again. But like I said, if you're locked in dorsal vagus nerve, it's a bit like you can't focus outwards and concentrate. It's a bit like you're walking around with a stone in your shoe. All you can focus on is a stone in your shoe. So if you're batting and you're socially disengaged, you can't really concentrate on what's ahead of you, which is the game. So all we did was switch one of your 5 or all of the 5. One of them can help all 5. Trigeminals, facials, cranial nerve, 9, 10 and 11 on, and you'll all of a sudden become more focused and more able to concentrate and not get distracted and do what you're naturally good at. Which is, I suggest you play for England personally. That would look good on my CV.
That ship has sailed a long time ago.
Veterans.
And then, obviously, done a lot of work with ADHD, and my son has traits of that, undiagnosed and very young. And then, so I brought him along.
Great little guy.
Which was amazing, actually. And then we drove to the beach after that, and we had a conversation that we still not had since, and it was a really interesting conversation about, he was asking questions about things to do with, me and his mum and things like that I didn't realise he was thinking or was aware of, and it's amazing. It was amazing that it wasn't a coincidence that happened straight after. It was fascinating, actually.
It's fascinating at the same time. Obviously, I'm treating a lot of people, and it's happening all the time. And it is as simple as going from a state of dorsal vagus nerve shut down to a ventral vagus nerve, out of fight and flight, and more connected with the world and able to think outwards rather than inwards. And it's remarkable, really, and I just can't. I'm so blessed that I've been able to be part of this.
Yeah. So, is there any advice you give to people? Is there anything that people can do quickly to help them if they're feeling...
There is actually something very interestingly, ridiculously simple.
Yeah.
First thing is get yourself a torch on your phone, like that.
Yeah.
And then go open your mouth, like so. Look at the uvula that dangles in back of your mouth, and the arches like the tonsil area, and just go ah. So to start, if you look at it, your uvula's to one side. That means you're locked in survival, dorsal vagus, fight and flight. Or if the arches are distorted, and then when you go the uvula should go up. It might go like that. It might not even move. It might go back. The guy the other day came in, and it was like that.
Yeah,
it was to one side. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is torch. Simple as that. Other stuff is, are your eyes sort of wired, and so if you've seen a ghost like that, are your shoulders to one side, so press your trapezius. On one side is one tighter than the other, and the things I do is check to see whether the diaphragm's tucked under the rib cage. It's like an electrician looking for energy. If you can't find energy, you can assume it's tucked under there. Are your hips to one side? But the main thing is simple for the general public, is the ovular test, and guess how you fix it? It takes 2 minutes, preferably lead down, fingers like that, sort of in between the back of your skull and the back of your neck. Okay, don't move your head, just turn your eyes to the left and slightly up. And wait.
I'm going to do it.
A little gulp. And then the other side. And I gulp, some people breathe. The point is, it's your pharyngeal nerve, which is connected to the nerves of your, I can't remember which cranial nerve it is, it might be cranial nerve 8 that affects your eyesight. And remember, if one of your cranial nerves, particularly 9, 10 or 11, is switched on, then you switch on 10, your vagus, and 11, your accessory nerve, which is the one that positions the top 2 vertebrae in your skull. So really what you're doing is flicking that back and the whole system switches on. And you can do that, everyone should do it. And if you struggle with that and you think it's not working, I would say 8 out of 10 it works, 2 out of 10 they just need 1 to 3 sessions of what we do. Sort of, I'm looking at it as body engineering.
Yeah. It's funny, you feel your back relax. It's obviously related to muscles.
Yeah, your sternocleidomastoid, trapezius muscle, the only muscles of that size that are not run by your spine, little nerves, they run by your brainstem. And as soon as you flick them to relax and recuperate, your body relaxes, the whole system relaxes. Another thing is, if you've got like acid reflux, that is another massive indicator of being locked in dorsal vagus nerve, shut down tight. And that's why people struggled with muscles and physios and chiropractic work, because the sort of system that aligns them is really tight anyway, because you fall to bits. All of a sudden you go into fight and flight. It's like a spider's web around your body, goes even tighter, so you get completely locked in. So having a massage can be painful. Seeing a chiropractor, yes, it'll go, but it'll come back because it's being dragged back like an elastic band's pulling it. And any other treatments, whether it's sort of psychological treatment, sort of cognitive behavioural therapy, etc., won't work as well unless you're socially engaged. It's just so simple but so effective, and we're getting now more and more research to validate what we do.
Yeah, it's interesting, really. I've spoken a lot about my son. Hope he forgives me in the future. Where he didn't sleep at all, and he had silent reflux, they call it. And I genuinely believe that came from a nurse like force feeding him milk. Yeah, and kind of kicked off all this thing where it seems like it just locked him in. Yeah. And created all this. So when you get locked in, the esophagus gets dragged up. So the hiatus is where the stomach meets the esophagus, and its hiatus means hole. So you've got one stomach, and when you sort of get locked in fight and flight, it gets dragged up. You get a little stomach and your big stomach. All of a sudden now you've got acid pouring into your second stomach, which is above the main stomach. And that's where it all begins. In effect, what we do is allow the body, so we don't physically do it, we traction the body and allow it to reset by dropping the esophagus down. And so all we do is basically by particularly working in this area, about 7% of the time, is your body relax, and then we just work down the spinal cord to the hips, and we're sort of, in a way, allowing the body to let the organs drop down and start to work properly. So it's why it's amazing for IBS, Crohn's, all the sort of stuff to do with sluggish guts and stuff like that. Yeah, interesting. Does that relate to, you see, restless leg syndrome and stuff like that? Yeah. Again, it's sort of
I mean, so you look at conventional medicine, you can have a psychological effect to it and talk about why is it happening? Is it an anxiety thing, or is it a physiological thing? Is it this? Is it that? Is it the other? But ultimately, it's a nervous system that's not working properly. So your central nervous system is not working quite as it should, and so what we do is very likely there'll be in a dorsal vagus nerve stage of sort of fight, flight, rest, and shut down. We swap from that to rest and recuperate, and the body does the fixing. We're not clever enough, but the body is, if you let it, and the central nervous system is beyond fascinating. It's just so powerful. We just take it for granted, like most things.
So what's the kind of what is it from UCLan that they're interested in terms of the giving the investment research?
Well, we're working with the Health Innovations Department, so I think it's all in that phrase, health innovations. So they're looking for innovative ways of helping people with their health. So obviously PTSD has been another study. The big thing I know for a fact is stress, even at the university, and anxiety and stress. And I firmly believe people are stressed because of COVID, not because of the virus, but because of the worry about the virus. I find that if people get sort of anxious and the sort of stress levels go above 3 out of 10, and even when they're sleeping, because they're constantly worrying and dreaming about, well, we all thought we were going to die, and it doesn't go below 3 out of 10, then you get locked in fight and flight, because it becomes the norm for the body. And again, the same things happen is the system gets tweaked and starts malfunctioning, and you get locked in. And I firmly believe, because of COVID, lots and lots of people are more anxious because of it. And we're treating quite a lot of people with COVID, what we do. Again, that system's like that, and we find that there's a cradle in the skull called your tentorium. It sort of goes like that and around there like so, and your brain sits in it, and we're finding people with long COVID that the tentorium is twisted, probably as a result of the system malfunctioning and inflammation. So we can actually, what's the best phrase, we can get the body to realign that area of the skull so the brain sits there as it should, and then the healing starts.
Okay.
Along with a good nutritious diet and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you've got into that side of things as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've always been involved with cutting edge nutritional products by, again, default, not realising I just fall into things. 15 years ago, I used to get serious bronchitis, cut off my patients. They'd have a cold, but to me, it'd manifest in bronchitis to the one time I nearly died. And I was sort of openly went looking for something that would help me. I started eating a diet full of so-called fresh fruits and vegetables, even from Waitrose and Sainsbury's, where they're supposed to be better quality. But no, it persisted. And I came across an advancement in nutrition that basically was 20 portions of fruit and vegetables in a capsule, which sounds crazy, raw, right, pesticide-free. And what sort of science behind it that reduces oxidative stress by a minimum of 75% and brings inflammation levels to normal levels. I thought, well, I'm going to try that, and I've not had anything since then. So I've been a massive advocate of these sort of groundbreaking products from Switzerland, and started handing them out to my patients to try, and I've basically still taking it now, and I've managed to end up by some default, or whatever you want to call it, as a director of that company, and be able to put programs together called Reset You, which is the reset is the nervous system thing, and the other reset bit is the rebuilding you cell by cell. I don't know if you know that after 4 months, 120 days, 60% of your body has renewed itself, like your liver, your skin cells, at least, I think maybe, is it once a week or once a month? Anyway, it's a lot, but you're just rebuilding you, and this is how we rebuild people with fibromyalgia, because we just rebuild the body as well as the nervous system. So it works, and it's scientifically based. That's what I like. I'm a bit of a science person. I want to know why, prove it, and that's what I'd work with. That's why I've got the research from UCLan as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because I suppose, from the outside, people might think it's a bit woo-woo.
Well, at the end of the day, the company that I work with regarding the nutrition have been 30 years of age, and they started doing peer-reviewed research rather than get celebrity endorsements. I don't think they even knew how big nutrition was going to be now, but now, although you can see on sort of social media and TV, is greens this, greens that, try this, try that, try this, making unbelievable claims, but then there's nothing to back it up, and they're constantly being told off. But we've got the science behind the product to prove that it gets into your body in its entirety and gets out what you don't need, and your body uses what it needs to create a formidable sort of immune health, strong body from it all.
Yeah. So going back to the business side of things, you're obviously quite an entrepreneurial kind of guy, and did you grow up around similar mindsets? Or?
Not at all. I'm from a council estate. Everywhere's got a council estate, and always from that council estate. I was that person from that council estate. I don't know where my ambition came out of, although genetically my uncle, Dad's brother, he's an entrepreneur over in New Zealand, and he's done really, really well for himself. Maybe I've got that in my DNA, I don't know, but I ended up being the top classes at school and rubbed shoulders with people. I always remember they had things, like they lived in their own houses, they were going on holiday, and like we had nothing. We had to wait for my dad to come home to pay for fish and chips, or we didn't get fish on a Thursday. But so I've always wanted things, and they had things, and I thought I wouldn't mind that stereo system. I think
how do I get that?
So it's made me drive to think, right, I'm going to work hard. And the ironic thing is, I've not been working hard. I've just been working smart and not realised it. And I just feel over the past 2 years, I've worked out what smart is. And I can pass this on to other people, and they can become in charge of their own destiny, because I've got the reset program, which is we teach you how to do the reset, which is a bit more complicated. That if you want it to become a therapist or become an advisor on the nutrition side of it, or do nothing, it's entirely up to them. The point is, I want to give back. Oh, by the way, I've got a charity in West Africa, I forgot to mention. We've got thousands of kids playing football. We've started with about 10 kids, 2 of my boots, I think. We had 3 balls, and they were like that worn out. Couldn't tell what make it was. We've transformed that into a soccer academy where we've got Division 1 out of 3 team with international players. And my guy over there in the Gambia, he now works for the African Football Federation. And we're getting them a minibus as well. So I'm into sort of, again, helping people.
Yeah. Are you, so the New Vision therapy, has that been picked up by sports teams and things like that?
We already work with the physio at Loughborough, and a lot of the athletes at Loughborough have New Vision therapy. Again, if you think about it, throwing discs around and training hard in the gym or whatever sport you do is going to affect the function of the central nervous system. So if the spine's slightly misaligned, or you get a blow to the head, it puts you into fight and flight. We can fix that, for want of a better word. We let the body to, let's say, help itself, not really fix. And again, it gives you a competitive edge. There's just so much scope for this, what we do. We don't know where it's going to take us, but it's taken to some amazing places so far.
Yeah, I know you speak very passionately about the helping, ex-military members with PTSD. It's a big part of it for you. You've seen the benefit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's for them. It's free from me, and free from most people I know who becoming therapists will treat veterans because it's what they deserve. But that's another story.
Yeah. So, what's the future hold?
Well, the future is, my mission statement is to help 1 million people feel much better about their health and well-being over the next 5 years. So I've created the network, Reset You. Anyone can plug into it. It's so easy to share, like pass the parcel, share it with your family, your friends, and so on and so on. Based around the simple reset, which is the treatment, a little 5-minute reset rumble, I've called it, which I'm going to video, which gives you as much health benefits as an hour of exercise.
Right.
And this is, again, groundbreaking stuff. Followed by, a reasonably good diet. Look, if you're going to have a cream cake, it's Friday, you've worked hard all week, have one type of thing. Life's for living, but ultimately looking after yourself, but making it easy for your body to look after it itself. That's the main thing about it. So, that's what I see is just helping, bringing loads of people on board to help me with my mission, and people can just go and do what they want with it and become bigger than what I want to be. It's not like restricted to me. I'm not protecting this. I want people to take it and give it away.
How can people find that? Because you're online, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm online. I've just had a new website actually created.
Okay.
www.resetyou, the U is OO.com. The OO is going to be a little smiley face underneath it. That's a little for on your T-shirt. So I can't spell.
Y-O-O.
Yeah. So www.resetyou.com, and it's all on there. Explains about the program I've created, which has already gone global.
And that's live at the moment, is it?
That's live as we speak.
We'll put that on the description.
But also, if you go onto my Injury Fix website, that's where there's a bit more information about how the treatment works. There's unlimited testimonials, and there's also Fix Me. If you've got an injury, you can get free physio on the YouTube video. It took me forever to do these videos. And also, you've got the courses on the academy. And just lots of stuff on there which is free, and you can learn all about how it all works. And get in touch if you think you need me, or just try the basic exercise. Head to the left, so eyes to the left, hold for about 30 seconds to a minute until you gulp, then to the right, same again, wait till you gulp, job done, reset. Finally not feeling better, then you probably need a more sort of stronger reset from one of the therapists.
Yeah. Amazing. Anything else you want to tell us about at the moment? What's going on? I mean, you're always off somewhere and travelling somewhere and talking about what you do, aren't you?
Yeah. I've just come back from Scandinavia. Someone sort of funded me to go treat somebody in Stockholm. We've got the research coming up. We've got a new therapy suite opened in Tenerife.
Oh, right.
Los Cristianos. We've got all sorts of big stuff coming at the end of the year, like people with burnout, all interested from like government funding and basically a lot of interested parties. This is catching fire, and we're sort of building an army of therapists to help with the demand. So there's lots of amazing things coming, and it even helps me with my golf. Because again, like you with your cricket, if you can keep your mind focused and not spinning everywhere, take the sort of the stone out your shoe and focus on the game, you're going to play better. I'm about average 6 shots better a game. It's just mad, but I love it. Yeah.
Well, I can personally recommend people to go and have a look at what Rob does and look into it a bit more, and if they're interested, make contact with you, because
thank you.
Definitely, it's definitely something to do, to look into.
Super.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, mate.
And coming through all that traffic this morning.
I've got to go back through it now and probably get a parking ticket, but I don't care.
Okay, well, don't get into fight or flight from...
I won't. I'll just give him a hug. So I'll give him some love. Someone's got to do your job.
Yeah.
Bet your mum was proud of you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for coming in. And,
my pleasure.
Coming on the pod.
See you soon.
Nice.